abstract says, this paper examines the legacy of the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program, not GoldBod domestic purchase program. Beginning from where Dr. Zato landed, I think that the point must be made that if there's any person or political party that ought to be blamed for the shift in focus, concentration on numbers, and not the actual environmental cost of the report, and the cautious optimism expressed in the report, then it is Afenyo Markin and the New Patriotic Party, and Dr. Zato must be bold to state that fact, regardless of his association with the NPP. That fact needs to be made. This debate was not started by the NDC. It was not started by GoldBod. It was not started by Bank of Ghana. The NPP, through Afenyo Markin, read the document and decided that they were going to concentrate solely on the figures and not the environmental implications of our mining sector. A cautious optimism expressed by the Bank of Ghana, the IMF. So that is not the doing of the National Democratic Congress, and we have not compelled anybody to concentrate on just the figures. Now to the substantive issue before us today, and that has to do with the claims being made by, I don't want to believe it is the entirety of the New Patriotic Party, because I have friends in the NPP. I have spoken to a number of them, and even they themselves has expressed concern about the modus operandi of their minority leader. Many of them think that this is personally driven with benefits they are still trying to understand, or the hope of benefits that they are still trying to understand.
Because the press conference didn't have him only speaking, and he also introduced himself as the minority leader.
Yes,
the party has not come to debunk it.
If you look at the conduct of this micro-minority in Parliament, anytime there is a specific issue, their ranking address press conference on that specific issue.
Upon Nkrumah was standing right by him.
Please. I said the ranking, they are those who address the press conferences. I'm not saying standing. I said address the press conference. Yeah. Either from the military reverend, or when the budget is read, or even the annual statement of the Bank of Ghana was issued. Who read the press conference? I don't know, Upon Nkrumah. They are ranking. So the strategy behind this particular press conference should tell you the personality nature of it, especially when an interview was granted and the chief executive officer of the GoldBod came to respond to the interview, and that informed the decision of the minority, especially Afenyo Markin, to organize a press conference the following day in Parliament. If he was standing there alone, because I've also seen him address other matters. These are petty issues that I don't even want to. But because you introduced it, I am telling you that it is difficult to disagree with elements within the MPP who see this more as an Afenyo agenda designed for benefits they may not be able to explain. Yeah. Who in the MPP? Kofi is it true? I'm not allowed to disclose. I'm glad you are a journalist. I'm a journalist. But I also have that right. You are not a journalist. I am glad you are asking him that question, because he is the one that always calls for people to provide evidence. No, because you are doing accusation. So provide evidence on who. That's what I was asking him, because it situates the conversation. If I don't do this, I can walk out of this. No. Feel free. Because when they were speaking, I was quiet. So don't invite people when I'm doing this. Hamza. You see, I would invite people if the thing sounds personal. No. Solomon, you agree why I had to? No, because he made allegations against the NPP and the GoldBod. Yeah. Did you call me to intervene? You didn't. What allegations are these? But you didn't listen to his submissions. I didn't hear allegations. I didn't hear allegations. I have not made a single allegation against the GoldBod. Anyway, you are departing for your minority leader. Anyway, you said I made. Kofi, when I come to you, you make your. Let me hear you, Hamza. You see, first of all, a claim has been made by not the entirety of the NPP, but Afenyo Markin, that GoldBod has made losses as far as 2025 is concerned. Specific claim. And in his bid to demonstrate evidential basis for that claim, he waived this document. Yeah. The IMF report on the domestic gold purchase program. Now, if you look at the abstract of the document, it should be able to tell us whether this document was prepared in relation to the activities of GoldBod, and that GoldBod made a loss, or it is prepared in relation to Bank of Ghana and losses associated with Bank of Ghana domestic gold purchase program. It is important. Any true researcher, and indeed even a level 100 student who knows how to appreciate and comprehend documents, when you pick the document, the abstract gives you an overview of what the document says. Let's read the document to ascertain whether indeed Afenyo marking was right. The abstract says, this paper examines the legacy of the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program, not GoldBod domestic purchase program. And it goes, which helped formalize artisanal gold exports, rebuild reserves, and support foreign exchange market stabilization during Ghana's debt crisis. The program scaled rapidly, making gold-related flows central to stabilization, to reserve accumulation and FXs, but also generated sizable losses for the Bank of Ghana and exposed quasi-physical risks. Where, in the abstract, has it been stated that GoldBod made a loss? So the Honorable Afenyo Markin lied when he said that GoldBod made losses and sought to use this IMF report as evidence of saying that was a lie. And that is why on several occasions on this very platform, I have questioned the credibility of Afenyo Markin. Hey, no, don't do this. Don't do this.
You are doing something that is not fair. MFA, you are allowing him to call into question the credibility of somebody. You are allowing him to say that a man has lied when the man is saying so. It's not fair. You are not fair to do that. Zato, you are not here to do. It's not fair to you to do that about the minority leader.
Yeah. But what is fair to do about?
What is fair to do that about what?
I am saying that it's not fair for you to allow him to call the minority leader a leader.
Dr. Zato, I have said it countless times that when we sit here, comments by panelists are their sole responsibility. Because me, on behalf of the channel, we disassociate ourselves.
If the person has lied,
and I'm saying, yeah, and he's a lawyer, so he knows the consequences of it.
The minority leader do whatever he wants to do.
Dr. Zato, do you understand me?
Organize the press
because this has happened before.
This document as evidence of GoldBod losses, and I have demonstrated that it was a lie, and that there is nowhere in this document it has been stated that GoldBod made losses. And I proceeded to read even the abstract of the document that specifically says that the Bank of Ghana made losses. Number one. Second point, MFR. You see, if there's anything this document confirms, it confirms the position of government since the beginning or the establishment of GoldBod and the release of the annual reports of the Bank of Ghana. And I'll demonstrate why. You remember, when Bank of Ghana released its annual report, we said that the so-called losses associated with the domestic gold purchase program was the cost of our economic recovery. The NPP disagreed with us. If you remember, again, if you look at paragraph 13 of this same report, even the IMF itself interchangeably uses the word losses and accounting costs. And go to paragraph 13. If you have the document, go to paragraph 13 of the same document, black and white. The IMF says, DGP operations have generated significant losses for the Bank of Ghana. Losses in 2024 were equivalent to almost 400 million, one-third of which were related to gold for oil. In 2024, the significant scaling up of DGP operations led to losses of over 1.7 billion, almost entirely related to gold for dollar purchase. This amounted to a loss of 17% of value of dollar. Therefore, these accounting losses, that is the IMF speaking, these accounting losses partly reflect valuation effects rather than economic costs. It is not the NDC government that is saying it. It is the IMF itself, in its own document, now agreeing, partly with the NDC and the GoldBod and Bank of Ghana, that indeed these are not losses, but economic costs. In any case, if you look at Section 7 of the Bank of Ghana Act, it is stated specifically that liabilities associated with gold cannot be treated with the normal profit and loss account, but it has to be moved into an account called revaluation account. What is your understanding of revaluation accounts? Because the cost or the value of those assets can always change with time. So what you may interpret as a loss today may be a profit tomorrow or tomorrow next. That is why in the wisdom of the framers of the Bank of Ghana Act, they directed that we should establish the revaluation accounts. Now, MFR, another confirmation. We kept on saying that the magnitude of the 1.7 billion cost of recovery, or if you like, loss that the MPP is referring to, was largely driven by the scaling up of the domestic gold for program, the entirety of the activities of GoldBod, because of the amount of gold they were bringing in. They said, no, we're lying. If you look at paragraph 13, the same paragraph 13 of the IMF report, it says what? I think I read that part already. It confirms that the 1.7 billion was as a result of the scaling up of the program by GoldBod. And that point is important. Third point, we also indicated through the Minister of Finance that with the introduction of GANRAP, we were going to succeed in bringing down the economic cost of the program. Especially now that GoldBod is going to lead the charge in terms of purchases. They said, no, we're lying. The same report agrees with the government of Ghana, and agrees with the Bank of Ghana, and agrees with GoldBod. And if you look at, I think paragraph 14 you read it, paragraph 14 of the IMF report, it states emphatically that they are looking at the losses bringing down the losses from about 17% to 5%. And that Q1 of 2026 already shows signs of recovery as far as those economic costs are concerned.
Solomon made that point.
Yes, that's why I don't want to read it again. Significant. And finally, we mentioned macroeconomic stability and that the importance of these interventions could be seen in our macroeconomic indices. They said, no. We shouldn't go there. Even the IMF, if you look at paragraph 10 of the same document, the IMF agrees that DGPP-related flows have become the predominant driver of BOG's FX cash flows and reserve accumulation. Annual gold-related inflows increased from 1.7 billion in 2023 to 12.7 billion in 2025, including 1.1 billion in net gain from gold bullion sales. So the DGP has therefore been operationally central to the 8-fold increase in gross international reserves since the beginning of the ECF program. And if you look at paragraph 1 of the document, remember this is inside, it says the corresponding surge in its gold export value led to drastic improvement in Ghana's current account balance, rapid exchange rate appreciation, and improved debt sustainability. Arguments that the GoldBod and Bank of Ghana have been advancing since 2025. So if there's anything that this document that Afenyo was showing to all of us does, indeed this document is a confirmation of the position of the National Democratic Congress government as far as our activities with gold is concerned, and its economic benefits for the good people of this country. If there's anything that this document says, it is NDC people who should be proud about the contents of this particular document. Because this document expresses cautious optimism about the policies of this government and simply reminding us that make sure that you don't go the way of the New Patriotic Party. And we have shown signals that we are not going that way. That is the difference.